Welcome to another episode of the OPA to OPM podcast. I'm your host, Day Mill, with my co-host again, Alex and Markel. And if the set is a little different today, well, because it is.
We in the hood.
We are in the hood.
In the trenches.
We are in the trenches, and we are in my personal home. So fuck y'all, okay?
So we won't know if it's gunshots or fireworks.
Hey man, if y'all see me hit the ground,
Might be a little bit of both.
That is very much true.
we in Southeast.
It is. Oh my god!
How long has it been since we did our last episode?
It has been at least 2.5 months.
Jesus.
Yeah, I was about to say it's been 3
We've
months.
only done 3 episodes this year.
Consistency.
Man. Hey, but I'm going to give us some grace because we was going hard for a long ass time. Pause. We was being consistent. We was being consistent for at least a good 6 months.
Yeah, he's grinding, locked
And
in.
niggas. I ain't gonna front. I don't know about y'all. I was getting a little burned out. I ain't gonna front. I know y'all was doing other things as well. So I'm gonna give us some grace for us not recording this month. But we do need to go ahead and end the year 2025 on a good little on a run.
I'm about to say it's the second half. It is hot too.
It is hot.
You know how hot it is? I walked out, this shirt was wrinkled. The only time I stepped out of the car is to get gas. It was 5 minutes in there, de-wrinkled my shirt.
Man,
It is hot.
It is hot. Well, it's not hot in here because I have a comfortable home. You know.
So what's happening in the world? What's been happening since in the past 3 months?
Happening in the past 3 months. I can speak for myself. You good?
Outside of World War III.
Outside of that's exactly. For myself, update. That situation is that we spoke about from the past podcast about someone pointing a gun at me. That situation's in the rear view. So I don't have to deal with that anymore. I was subpoenaed to appear in court, and so I had to do that. And I think yeah, man, that situation's in the rear view. Right now, honestly, I've been just grinding. Like today's my first day off. I just worked a 36-hour shift. I got off last night.
Hell nah.
Yeah, I'm working a 36-hour shift on Saturday to Sunday evening as well. And I'm doing the same thing on when I work Wednesday to Thursday next week as well. So right now, bro, just grinding. Like I told you, Alex, the other day. Like I'm making it a point. Like from our past episodes, if you go back through our archives, you could see that I was going through. I had some businesses that didn't work out in my favor. So just rebuilding brick by brick. So rebuilding my financial house. So right now I'm focused on building up my emergency fund. And so, man, I was going to grind too, bro. I think I saved like $2,500 this month, or last month, I should say.
Right.
Once I build that up, I'm going to build up another general savings, and then build up some funds so we can start. I'm gonna start investing as well. So, thinking about turning the house or at least the basement into either another rental, but do a better and more thorough background check, and just put up some more precautions before I let anyone in my house, or turn into, like I said, a podcast studio. Because it has its own separate entrance. I could just put another door between the kitchen, that separates the kitchen from the basement, a more secure door, and just turn that bitch into like a money, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, money printer. There we go. Appreciate it.
At public school.
It is at public school. All right. And yeah, man, just grinding, trying to get on top of things. We started going back to the gym. Yeah, just trying to get my mind right. I took a break from dating. And yeah, man, just getting my mind together.
Wrong with that?
Yeah.
Yo. Last 3 months. Was that Q2?
This nigga.
Yeah, Q2. I was gonna say, I'd say Q2 was frustrating as shit, bro. Like, yeah, full transparency. Like, when you have a service-based business, I guess that depends on the clients doing their part too, and them not, them dropping the ball and not necessarily on their part. Or let me not say you, but I was tending to get too frustrated and caught up in the clients that wasn't, holding up to the end of the bargain and not focusing more on what I can control and focusing on just continuing to find clients that are willing to do or are looking for that change. So, I had to hit a mindset reshift. I got a little under the weather for a whole week, which also put me behind some work or a lot of work.
You need that throat comfort.
Nah, it was my sinuses. It wasn't my throat. Pause. It was my sinuses. I probably gotta get surgery to get my sinuses removed or my adenoids or whatever the hell they call it. But
I'd seen a chiropractor. They'll stuff like up a balloon up to the nose and then like crank that joint.
yeah, that shit won't help my shit, bro.
Oh,
Yeah, my shit bad. I got something called sinusitis or something like that.
The fuck was that?
So it's
that's
chronic.
that private shit.
It's chronic sinus issues, but it's like a flare up too. It's like inflation. So depending on what the air is
I
too.
hate when your nose get inflated. Inflation, economy inflation, nose inflation,
So it's like basically like
inflamed.
Inflamed. Yeah, my bad.
Inflation.
You know the fuck I meant.
That's that private school shit. Nigga trying to use big words and shit.
Oh bullshit.
Nah, this is the shit that
I'm struggling
be
for
happening
printer,
to
and
me.
this nigga's.
Printer, inflation.
But yeah, your shit real life, the air too dry or season changing, you feel all this like sinus pressure starting to build up. And that shit held you out for the count.
I bet.
But yeah, did just come back from Fanatics Fest though. That show was a dope ass.
Yo, I
experience.
seen the content you was posting, bro. That is some
So-
good content.
What is Fanatics Fest?
So Fanatics Fest is like, best way to explain it is if you a sports person, it's the best place to be. Like it's soccer, NFL, NBA, WWE, all these top brands from Nike's, Paul's Sporting Goods. Dicks.
Not just sports, you got
Had to put
entertainers
pause
there
on
as
it.
I'm
well.
saying, who's Paul?
Yeah, but entertainers, like streamers, podcasters, like anybody that's like
Rappers?
somebody for real. Travis Scott, like everybody was there, but it's like people was doing activations. People did live episodes, like LeBron did the Shop Live. From there, Stephen A. Smith did his show. Kevin Hart did a couple of his joints. 520 podcast with Jeff Teague, Behan, and DJ. They did their drink. And yeah, man, it was just like a lot of activations. If you are in the memorabilia and like trading cards and stuff, like signed stuff, all that stuff was being sold there, jerseys. It was just a lot of stuff. So I took that as an opportunity to like interview reputable people that's very successful and try to, get y'all some more content. Yeah.
Dope.
Got to interview Gary V.
Word?
Yeah.
Really?
Kill.
Yo.
What was that like?
So it's crazy as shit, right? So it was a 3-day event. After day one, that's when this is my first time. I went up there by myself. Not doing that again because I needed a cameraman or somebody to just walk around with me to help facilitate the interviews. But great experience.
I thought you went over there with the team.
Nah, I was up there. My man's he work for Nike now, so he got me in that joint and everything. But
You can't just show up there, or
yeah, you can buy a ticket.
Oh,
Whatever.
okay.
But no, I needed the pass so I can maneuver around it.
oh, so you were going like backstage kind of thing.
Sort of for some of the stuff. I ain't know like different passes gave you different levels of access, but I was just asking. Like, bro, most of the stars was kind of walking around with the security, so I was just walking up to him, asking him, can I interview him and everything. But after day one, right, we in the car and I'm on Fanatics Fest Instagram page and I'm seeing like everybody posting and everything. I'm like, hold on, bro. Gary Vee was there. I didn't see him. I didn't even know he had a setup. Mind you, that thing was right next to a bunch of setups I was next or was at and everything. So, bro, I'm in the car. I'm like, yeah, tomorrow. And that's why I say God is real. I'm like, tomorrow, I'm interviewing Gary Vee. Like, that was the first, like, I realized I said that to everybody in the car. We get there. I get there the next day. But the first person I see is Gary Vee. Walking around with his son, looking at trading cards or whatever.
What?
And, bro, I was like fake walking past him and shit. Like, cause I was like, damn, he with his son. I ain't trying to interrupt him, but
Yeah.
I seen other people walking up to him asking for a picture or saying like, "Yeah, I'm just a fan," and he was, happy and cool interacting with him. But I want to introduce myself, and he was like, "Shit, hell yeah, why not?" And
because that's what he's about. Is just like seizing the opportunity, grabbing the moment, leveraging the things that you have at your disposal, but then leveraging that to get more content.
Yo, that's dope because I probably wouldn't have had the heart to ask him when he's with his son.
I'm a huge fan, so I had to, bro. It was
I understand.
Yeah, it's like saying, I guess for a business guy, it's like saying LeBron if you're a sports fan,
Right?
Like,
Or saying Jay-Z if you're a fan, or Kendrick Lamar, Drake, something like that.
yeah, if you have that opportunity, you're that close. Like, bro, I'm reliable. Like, I can realize, reach out and touch him. And you gonna take the opportunity.
He's out.
Pause. Yeah.
Man, only you went there. No,
He's out. He's out now. So
he is out.
No, he's not.
well, I mean, he's going to get out.
Yeah, $1 million bond or whatever.
No, Bell got denied. Bell got denied.
He's got the money. He's going.
Oh shit.
No, he got he tried to pay his way out yesterday. The judge denied his bail.
Cool.
So he's probably gonna get sentenced to some more time. But let's not get into that.
Yeah,
Goddamn.
I don't know about none of that.
Yeah,
shit.
we don't cover entertainment or prosecutions or none of that shit.
Okay.
Yeah, what's your last 3 months been like?
It's been a whirlwind. I ain't gonna hold you. So a lot of updates. I was just talking to my mentor about some of this stuff. Was where do I want to start? So I got into a government contracting class. So that's been going pretty good because now like I'm learning government contracting, how that works. But then I got into there's a program called Apex in Maryland. And so there's only 5 people that work for this company in the state of Maryland, which is basically is backed by the state of Maryland, is backed by the Department of Defense. So they're the ones that are funding the program that'll teach people how to learn government contracting for free. So I got in, through connections, I got in with one of the people who teach that. And I was like, hey, look, you teach me everything you know about government contracting. I'll go ahead and help build the systems out for you because they're stretched thin on resources. Like one person has like a few thousand clients kind of stuff. So
hey, yo, you just doing too much. But go ahead.
Sorry. Private school stuff. But anyways, got fired, got hired, and went broke, right? Came in this joint, asked for bread, literally, hamburger bread,
for
barbecue
for
sauce.
bread and barbecue sauce.
Yeah. Mumbo, if y'all.
He didn't give me. He didn't give me nothing to drink.
Yeah, that nigga.
He said I got water out the tap.
That nigga said, "Yeah, I got barbecue sauce." That nigga gave you the mumbo.
4 different types of barbecue.
Well, we not gonna do that. We not gonna do that, right? So he asked for barbecue sauce. I go and look for the barbecue sauce. Couldn't find it, but then I found it's still warm over the cabinets.
Warm barbecue sauce.
Okay, so he sees mumbo sauce in my fridge. Ooh. Fuck yeah, because I know the jokes, about to cut the fat jokes, but it's all good. I got mumbo sauce.
What's wrong with having mumbo sauce?
I got mumbo sauce in the fridge.
I have a fat joke.
Oh, okay. Oh, my fault.
He got PTSD.
I had mumbo sauce in the crib, and he saw that, and he said, "Yo, I'll take that. That's better than barbecue sauce."
You know what I'm saying? What's wrong?
All right, then. Motherfucker told me I gave him mumbo sauce to the barbecue sauce.
I didn't say anything.
Nah, Kel said it.
Nah, I mean, I just know in the text thread, he said, "Hey, Damian, you got barbecue sauce?" And nigga said, "Yeah, and bread."
Hey. Yeah, this nigga did say and bread. Like, damn.
Hey, man, beggars can't be choosers, but at the same time, close mouth
No
don't
bullshit.
get fed. So anyways.
Literally, huh?
So, I did some I don't think I did any podcasts, but yeah, like I said, got fired through all the Doge stuff and then went full time in the business. And then it's just like, it was a crazy experience because I'm building all these connections and stuff with these like top tier kind of people. And I'm hosting classes with local chambers of commerce for AI stuff. And AI is just booming lately where people are really just trying to start figuring this stuff out. So business is starting to pick up. It's a weird off season or not off season, but it's a weird season because it's like I'm building all these connections, but none of them at this moment are paying, right? But I'm in the room building the connections where people are like, yo, Alex, right? Or something like that. So I did an event. I was an AI panelist for the Baltimore City's mayor's office.
Okay.
They had their annual conference. I was doing a couple other events and stuff, just like, again, building these connections. I try to tell people, I'm like, yo, I put my money where my mouth is, where even though I have all these accolades, I'm still going out to do the work for free, to build the connections, to build the relationships, to get into those rooms, to add value to people, and to be able to say, all right, cool, this is how we can add value here. This is, and then people will kind of figure out, oh, you do this. All right, I'm going to introduce you to this person. And then you get into all these different rooms. And so from that, now it's like, all right, cool. How do we start making money off of this kind of situation now? So that's where the season I'm at in now. It's like, how do I start transitioning from, okay, I added all this value for free to now I need to start charging, and I know my value. And it's like, no, I'm not doing that anymore for free kind of stuff. So
do you think that's a conference thing?
I don't think it's a confidence thing. It's just we're in a season where people don't know how to buy AI services just yet. Right? Because
So, that makes you possibly like the trailblazer in that field.
Yeah, now AI has been around for a while. Like,
yeah, we heard that one.
AI's been around for a while, and so big businesses have been buying AI for a while,
right?
But smaller business and medium-sized businesses don't know how to buy this stuff, and it's like, do you charge hourly?
You good?
Hey man, I'm black. I hear a dog moving around. I gotta make sure.
Oh,
that's what that is. Crack rocks or what up?
What? I was like, what your dog got a bad hip? Why are they coming down so slow?
Yeah.
But anyways, shout out to, what's your dog name?
Zero.
Zero?
Yeah. I'm about to pause. We about to pause this motherfucker though, so get her upstairs. I forgot the code.
She chilling. I ain't got no.
Yeah, as long as she ain't no biter.
No. She soft.
So, anyways, lost my train of thought. I hear just creeping. But anyways, yeah. Oh, so people don't know how to buy these AI services, right? We don't know, is it hourly rates? Is it week? Like, do you charge per month? Do you charge a one-time fee? Do you charge recurring fees? Do you charge, a percentage on whatever it is that you save that person? Like, what is it kind of stuff? But the other thing is that where we're in now, whatever I tell somebody today is old news in 2 weeks, right? I was just trying to tell people, I'm like, yo, I'm trying to build out this bot. Y'all are distracted as hell. But all right, just sat on my foot. So she's like, you don't mind, do you? My fault. Excuse me. You're in my spot. But anyways, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I was thinking about building a bot that can manage your finances.
Okay.
QuickBooks just came out. QuickBooks this month. We're on the 3rd of the month. QuickBooks just announced they have an AI tool that'll do all that for you.
You know what's crazy, bro? You just said that. I've been using ChatGPT. That's why I wanted to talk about ChatGPT. I've been using that as like my financial advisor.
For real? How's that been going?
It's been good. So let me. I have some of my prompts I've been. Because I told you over the phone, some of the things I had ChatGPT doing. So let me just say. For disclosure, this is you're about to get like some information I personally fed ChatGPT for. So I said,
don't give it like
not gonna give it nothing too personal. I'm selling ChatGPT. Hey, I'm making such and such a year on my job, and I'm expecting to have to pause on working for a month for a reason. How can I budget my finances for the next 2 to 3 months to account for this? This is how much I make. This is how much I get paid. I pay for taxes. This is how much my benefits cost me a month. And as you can see, and how much my mortgage is. It's giving me.
So you gave it all the specifics.
I gave it all specifics, and it mapped out a plan for me How much I need to save this? I need to save this. I need to save this. You may want to maximize your Roth for this month.
Yeah.
Things like that. You know, there's basic things you can ask ChatGPT. Like shit. Like I just painted this room. Right, I'm using ChatGPT for everything. I just painted this room. ChatGPT gave me a mock-up of what this room would like in different colors.
Yeah.
So I chose the color. I was like, yo, okay. I told it, hey, I have dark hardwood floors and a dark leather couch. What's some colors that can make this room pop for me?
Yeah.
And so it gave me a mock-up. Like ChatGPT has been doing everything. So it's crazy you just said that because I've been using ChatGPT as a personal assistant, financial advisor, and all kinds of shit lately.
And I think that's the latest like buzz now. It's like everybody's just talking about either, you know, what's going on with Trump, what's going on with the world, what's going on with AI. And those are the main things that people are kind of concerned about in today's economy, especially now where it's like in today's economy. Well, I also add some other stuff. First, housing market has been slowing down crazily.
Right? Housing market is it is more sellers than buyers right now.
Yeah, so we're in a shifting market because now we have the whole Doge thing that was happening. I don't know if we talked about that last one.
We had not talked about that. Oh, before we go further, I'm sorry. Pause right quick.
And it's still going on, actually.
Yeah. If you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button. If you enjoy our past episodes, you join this episode, please think about hitting the subscribe button, hitting that notification bell as well. My fault. Go ahead, Alex.
So we have, I think this is like the 4th week or 5th week that housing prices are starting to come down. ICE is going crazy because they're even just taking actual U.S. citizens and the family of military veterans, deporting them like it's nothing. But yeah, we're having a slowdown of the economy because what is happening, from what I'm seeing, is that they have to refinance a lot of the debt that we're having. Right, we keep having this debt ceiling get raised and raised and raised, and so we had Elon fall out with Trump. Right. First, they were doing this whole, thing where they were going back and forth, and then they started falling out. But the problem is that we as Americans are catching the fallout of all this stuff.
Right.
Things are getting more expensive. Right. Times are getting harder. People are trying to figure out what to do. Microsoft just announced they're laying off 9,000 people.
Oh shit! Amazon just told people to either move or quit.
Yeah.
With no severance.
So I had seen something where they were talking about part of the 9,000. They're speculating. There's not real data out just yet because they do it, I think, quarterly. People were pointing out in the thread. They were like, "Yo, Microsoft's talking about laying off 9,000 people, but they're H-1B visas, which is like they're going out outsourcing the." To the Indias, the Thailands, the Philippines, the places
cheaper workforce.
Yeah, the cheaper workforce. Those applications skyrocketing. So you got a whole bunch of people who are being outsourced. The labor's going out to somewhere else, and then you have AI coming in that is now automating a lot of this stuff.
Exactly. That was exactly where I was about to go with that too. Go ahead.
So we're in a situation now, and I'm glad we're recording this now because we don't know what's to come, right?
I think we do. I think we do.
Go ahead.
I think we do. We're witnessing the collapse of, as people have been saying, the American middle class. It's done. Going forward, if you're not in AI, you're not in IT, you're not in cybersecurity, and if your job can be easily replaced by machines, or cheaper workforce, it's done. It's like. The American dream is dying or dead.
Yeah. And that's what Elon's been screaming about. He's just like, yo, I know that I was doing some shady stuff, but the problem is that it was to cut out the fat and all the excess spending and stuff. And so the reason they had to follow is because...
But you got to think about the excess spending was people jobs, people livelihoods.
I was going to say, go ahead, Kel.
Yeah, some of it. Yeah, it's like and no. Bro, all the stuff that he cut didn't really have no effect on it. It had an effect on people's lives as far as like the government saving money.
I'm about to say, because Alex lost his job.
Yeah, I was saying, it didn't. I'm saying as far as it affecting the government, it didn't really affect the government in a positive. Bro, this money being spent at the highest and lowest level, and we don't know exactly where that money is going. So was Doge or is Doge actually efficiently working? No, not from my point of view, because it's a difference in reallocating money and just doing mass firings. And it's hurting our economy.
Yeah.
Even more. Like, and then also with the deportations, like it's numbers that came out as in how much I don't want to call them illegals, foreigners. Let's just say foreigners.
Okay.
That were here illegally. I mean, it's what it
whatever.
is.
But how much they contribute to our economy, and what kicking them out or deporting them is going to do for us, especially over the next 10 years. Yeah, like,
I mean,
none of this stuff is helping our economy. And then, personally, I personally feel like the middle class that's been something that's been being disbanded.
It's a myth. It's been a myth for a generation.
Even since we was in high school, bro, that was something that was going away. So
the American dream was for boomers.
Really, yeah. I mean, of course, but I can't really say there was ever really a middle class.
I mean, it was a middle class, but we just weren't alive to see it, or we came in like the tail end.
There was never a middle class. I'm saying since COVID happened, I don't think there's been a middle class.
Oh no, I think the middle class has been dead since COVID accelerated things, but it's been dead. It's been dead.
I mean, I had to push back. The middle class just shifted because, like, middle class is those who make 150, not 150, but like.
I mean, yeah. Or if you want to put it in like that, well, yeah. Then
because there's got to be
the new middle class. The new middle class is basically the people that make the 100,000 to
make six figures.
350.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it just shifted because inflation.
That's the thing, though. Like,
but
it's declining. It's shrinking.
It's declining.
As well.
It's shrinking. Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna say, but if we put doing it like that, you can't just say inflation because the job market isn't paying.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know what I'm trying to say.
I mean,
I
would counter if you're saying that
to the fact of how fast inflation is rising.
Oh, yeah,
I would counter with that as well because you're saying the middle class has shifted. I would say it's shifted to, like you said, jobs ain't paying high six figures or six figures. Mm-hmm. Most jobs, that's like a certain fields are paying that.
Yeah.
So then it's no longer a middle class then because the middle is like the average income. Like the American people used to have like an average, should be an average income, but most people qualify. There was, low class or very, very poor. Mm-hmm. Then there was a middle class, and then there was people like high six figures used to be upper class. Now, dog, it's rich or middle to poor now. That's how it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say how I see it is it's either you're wealthy or not even or.
There's no in between.
You're wealthy, living paycheck to paycheck, or poor.
There's no in between no more.
You really?
Well, paycheck to paycheck is the new middle class then.
Yeah, basically.
So
paycheck to paycheck is
that's not
that's a terrible shift.
Yeah.
Or
that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's a good shift.
Yeah, I guess from how we used to just view middle class, like when we was growing up, middle class was a positive thing. Like to reach middle class, and I'm not even sure if that was a good mindset for us to have. But
we had upper middle class.
Well, yeah.
Because the area
that's something we used to strive for is upper middle class stuff.
Yeah, because I was about to say we got I'm gonna still acknowledge the privilege that we had growing up.
Yeah, PG County, St. Charles counties, and
that too. But I was just gonna say the fact that we were in private school, right?
Yeah,
that's a luxury for us to be able to say.
The fact that those two were in private school. I was still in public school. Just to put it, my parents couldn't afford to put me in.
But that's what I'm saying. School. The parents who could afford $15,000 a month or $15,000 a year tuition, in addition to everything going on, that's upper middle class, right? That's not middle class because middle class is like, you might take one, maybe two vacations a year, you're trying to save up for retirement and stuff like that. You don't really have too much extra spending money, but you're not struggling, but you're not thriving. Right. If you have the ability to pay an extra $15K a month, or God damn, I did it again, $15K for education for your kid, that's upper middle class.
You know what's crazy is
and still take
people are paying that now for daycare now.
And that's why I say
they're paying more.
Yeah.
If you're not receiving government vouchers for daycare, like you paying,
and that's why I say inflation is outpacing
income.
How much people are getting paid. Yeah.
I've been on this debate with myself, not entirely with myself, but kind of, where I'm just like,
well, inflation plus taxes. But yeah, go ahead, my bad.
I'm like, I ain't gonna hold you. The idea of moving out of America is getting more and more
appealing.
Yeah,
right?
Because it's just like when I was in like Cancun and DR and in Puerto Rico and stuff, I'm like, it's not crazy cheap, but I don't feel the burden of trying to keep up with stuff as bad as it is here. Now, granted, like, again, I took a more extreme route where I was like living in luxury penthouses and luxury, apartments and stuff. You guys seen them. While still having an exotic car and stuff. So it's like I was doing very well for myself, but at the same time, I'm paying for that shit now. Right. I'm not reaping those benefits because, granted, a lot of the stuff really came from Turo. Like, majority of my headaches, 8 out of 10 stuff came from Turo. But at the same time, it's like
I lived it.
Yeah. Still paying for it, ain't you?
Man, what?
Yeah. So it's like we're at that point where it's like it is tough. It's very tough because like even for me, credentials out the ass for AI and tech and stuff like that. And it was still tough trying to find a job. The job market is crazy right now because companies are creating ghost jobs. Because what happened was COVID happened where you got everybody's like, I don't need to take this shit. I'm gone. And you had this mass flight of people leaving jobs and other companies like, please come work for us. We'll pay you $20,000, $50,000 more than your last job kind of stuff. And then you with the mass resignation the great resignation. That's what it was called. And then you have the shift to now it's like, okay, please hire me. And companies are like, I was talking to my mom. She's like, yo, people getting let go from my job. They're turning around and seeing that same job being posted for $100K less.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
That's companies evaluate, and I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite and say I didn't benefit from the system either. But it's a lot of people with these jobs that, bro, we getting paid for 4 hours of work. I'm talking about a week.
Yeah.
A week.
Yeah.
Hey,
we getting paid 40 hours for 4 hours.
But that field demands that client or attracts that kind of
No, I'm talking about when I was working for the government.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about like some of the positions. Now I'm not saying because
here's the thing,
my
though.
supervisor, I know this nigga's in.
But you invested in yourself to be able to attract that income, correct?
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying it's people in positions that are literally getting paid 40 hours a week that only work 4. Not saying they not doing their job,
right?
But I'm just saying like.
So there's I was watching this Joe Rogan podcast episode with Bernie. Who's the politician?
Oh, Sanders.
I was just saying, I can see why they paying people less.
He was like, he brought up the issues like, yo, productivity. If you like, they mapped it out. It's like productivity. I think it's from like the 60s or 70s. Don't quote me on that. Has shot the fuck up. Employees are more productive than they ever been. But the rate that we're getting paid is not proportional to that. So it's like, it makes sense that people are only working 4 hours a week because they're just as productive as somebody, 20 years ago doing this stuff. As more and more technology gets involved in this stuff, it's like, all right, cool. I don't have to work as hard because technology can help fill that gap for me, but I can still earn enough money to where it's like, all right, this makes sense.
That's the scary part though, because of technology. Technology is going to even eat that 4 hours that you are doing in a week.
So
eventually.
the question then becomes, should we still get paid the same if we're getting the outcome that's
Yes. Yes.
wanted? Yeah. So it's like,
Yeah, so I'm not disagreeing with y'all. I'm just thinking from a company standpoint.
companies like, why would I pay
Yeah,
you?
companies
Yeah,
are all
they're like,
companies
yeah.
are especially
The bottom line.
capitalism is all about maximizing profit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like, why am I going to continue to pay this? Why am I going to
because
pay
you-
all three of us the same $115,000 a year when one of us can literally do all three of our jobs
Yeah.
in 2 hours?
Yeah. That's the scary part.
Even though we all it was taking us 30 minutes to do it. Shit, this one person could do it in 2 hours, and I'm still paying them that 40 hour a week rate. Shit.
I was talking to a senior at one of my companies. He just got recently let go, right? And he was like the most senior person in there when it comes to like reviewing quality assurance stuff. And he was like, "Yo, the market is crazy." I was like, "What's your perspective on it?" Because like I was at this point, but you have 10 times the experience that I have. And he was like, "I'm seeing jobs that are 3 jobs in one job description. Doesn't make sense. This is the work of 3 people in one job description, and they're getting paid less than what one person in that position would normally get paid." I'll give you a prime example. I had an interview for this company, government contractor. They wanted me to do security assessing, like auditing kind of stuff. They wanted me to do ISO work, which is like you have an assessor, and then on the other side of it is you have the person who's like kind of managing it internally, right? So they wanted me to do that work, the internal work. They wanted me to do automations, right? And they wanted me to do reporting, like building dashboards for them for like $115,000. I said,
"Gonna get all 8 hours out of you every day."
I said, do y'all realize that the average pay for one of those jobs is $120,000? So you're paying less than what one average person. They're like, "Oh, we max out at 120." I said, "All right, cool." But the problem is that you're asking me to do 3 to 4 times the amount of work of an average person making that pay. That don't make sense.
Right.
And that's where we're at now is like in the job market, you have more people wanting more productivity for less pay because the Amazon effect, right? Where you get instant results, cheaper rates, right? But then at the same time, it's like affordability of everything is going up higher. So it's like, yo, you're paying less, but everything is going up higher. And then they say, oh, well, we gotta charge higher because everything is going up. Well, it's like, well, shit. Somebody lying. Because y'all saying inflation ain't that bad, but why?
So inflation whooping all tails.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Inflation, as you said earlier, and taxes.
yes.
Yeah, inflation and taxes.
So it's
I would say
like,
the stock market. People don't even know this, but the stock market is not right now is not outpacing. It's outpacing inflation alone, but it's not outpacing inflation and taxes, and that's over the last 25 years.
I'm glad you brought that up. So
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
my boy had we had an interesting discussion. My boy just went on a PJ, private jet, right? $40,000. And he was like, yeah, he went with,
Come on, man.
yeah.
That's all that. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, nigga, that's hard. So, but he was like, yeah, a 17-year-old footed the bill. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, bro, he's a crypto millionaire. And so we started having a conversation about that where he was like, yo, the dude was like, I'm not interested in business. I'm not interested in real estate. I'm not interested in none of that. I just want to have my crypto. And he's like, I can live off this money that I have right now for the next 20 to 30 years. And I told him, I was like, it makes sense that somebody at that age or in general may or may not want to deal with real estate, the car market, Turo, and all this other stuff versus crypto, because with crypto, if you trade and get good at that relatively, there's no additional overhead. You don't have to answer calls. You don't have to, fix toilets. You don't have to, manage people. You don't have to be in shootouts.
You bitch.
Too soon? So, right? You don't have to do none of that stuff. You just got to manage yourself, your emotions, and there's way less overhead.
Right.
That principality is carrying over towards the job market, is carrying over towards a lot of these other things, because it's like, I don't have to deal with that many more things because I got AI that's taking over this stuff. And I get to have a lot more comfort knowing that things are going to transition and be a lot more smoother versus having to deal with emotions, time off requests, accountability people, or people who aren't accountable to their actions, liabilities, and all this other stuff. But again, it's like, how do, as an economy, because we have to start answering these questions, how do you deal with that? Where if a company doesn't need all these people, it doesn't need all this overhead, but then the people are like, I need a job still, but the companies are like, I don't need to hire you.
Honestly, all this stuff is bringing home 2 points to me is you gotta create your own. If you work for your job,
I can't lie, bro.
That's not cut out for most people.
Yeah, like
I'm not saying you gotta create like a large business, but you gotta create something to generate income.
That's still 90% of people are not cut out for entrepreneurship lifestyle.
And I was just being nice. I said 75%.
Yeah,
I can see that. I mean, but shit.
I agree.
Maybe you're not. You're not a start a business. Maybe you buy something or invest in something.
It's not that we can't disagree with you because it's actually a fact. Like the average person, every person damn near needs 2 incomes now.
Yeah.
Just to be able to
in America
survive. Yeah.
In America,
live comfortably, but just to survive, bro. So it's like, I don't know if telling them to go create your own, even though I would suggest anybody should go like try to.
Okay, hold on. Let's see how easy this can be, like to create income. Okay.
Nigga,
hold on. Time out. Let me. Let's say you have an apartment, right? Say you rent out extra room.
Mm-hmm.
First, that's an income.
Ooh, you talking about all right, bro. How long have all 3 of us been business owners right here?
5 years.
About 3 years for me.
And it's easy to make money.
Huh?
All right, hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish before I say it.
Let me hold $1.
It's not hard. I don't think it's hard to necessarily make money. I think it's hard to sustain a certain business level, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like I was saying in the beginning of the episode, bro. I depend on clients to fulfill their need of the bargain as much as they depend on me to,
yours.
Yeah, fulfill mine. And if they're not doing their part, then
it reflects on you as well.
I'm losing out on money, right?
Right.
Like, bro, I'm not gonna hold you. My last 2 weeks ain't really been stressful, but it's also been like, damn, bro, I'm missing out on a lot of money right now just because they don't want to send me a form, like something as small as that, or I need your bank account information. Like, it'd be some small, like some little ass shit, bro.
Yeah.
So it'd just be like, I can't say it's easy just to, just go to fucking TJ Maxx and start scanning barcodes and But I even have I have mans that tried to do that shit, bro. He did that shit for like a month, bro, and then it's just like the inventory just went down because, bro, there's only so much area. Like, he started having to drive to Philly, New York.
No.
Yeah, and it's like, damn, now his he not seeing the same return. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what is out there now that where you can create that, I guess, that easier income, bro? Because I'm not gonna lie, I've been trying to figure it out. Like, what else can I add that's gonna be something that's like a guarantee? Because, but it feel like you gotta be like a come up with something revolutionary. Like, have y'all seen the app Whatnot, bro?
Whatnot?
Bro, yes. It's the fucking greatest app out right now. And I'm going to tell you why. Bro, niggas that turn shopping.
This podcast is not sponsored by What's.
Yeah, it's not. But shit, sponsor us because I'm thinking about hopping on that shit and reselling and bulk selling shit, bro, because they done turned shopping to a live experience where you could get stuff.
It's like a live Shopify.
Yeah, bro, but you could get stuff like I'm talking about fucking rare ass Jordans for a lower price. You could bargain with people, but they start bidding at $1, bro, so you could get steals on some shit, bro. Like
That's not new though.
Whatnot. So Whatnot has been around for like, let's just say it's been around for a little bit, but it's like the hottest new thing right now because of the popularity that's gaining. Like when I tell you, if you had a grill, if you was doing wholesaling, well, even motherfuckers with stores like are starting to sell their stuff on Whatnot because it's more instant, bro. Like, let's just say if y'all know how bulk shit work. So selling bulk. So like, let's just say I got a fucking box of Lysol that's normally go for $5. I got it for $1, and I know I'm posting this shit on eBay, XYZ. But I might get a sale here and there. I'm sending it into Amazon because Amazon, you know, they got the FBA fulfilled by Amazon and shit.
Yeah.
But nigga, I hop on Whatnot. I'm just hosting. Oh yeah, bid now. Nigga, that shit real live just started going up, and next thing you know, bro, it's niggas spending $1,500 in 4 minutes on that motherfucker, doing giveaways and all that other shit. Like it's like, how do you come up with the next hottest thing, or is it just sticking with? Because like you said, Whatnot has been around for a little minute, and now it just became hot.
It's tough because again, one is like people try to come up with revolutionary stuff, but in this day and age with AI, people can come up with these ideas quick. You seen DocuSign is suing Youngin, who created an app that does the exact same thing, but it does it for free. Right?
Wow.
So people are what's called vibe coding, and vibe coding is just like, all right, cool. I'm gonna type in natural language, which is basically like, all right, create me an app that can do X, Y, Z, and it needs to have these colors and do this thing and do that, and build out the whole website for me. And then boom, in a few minutes, it'll go out and build the whole thing for you. Well, it's like we're in an age where it's like creativity can flourish, but at the same time, I tell people this: if I tell you something today, it's old news in 2 weeks because things are moving that quick. So it's like, all right, cool. You can try to create the next thing, but somebody can go find that same idea and then put it out for free. And now all that time, effort, energy, and money that you just put into this thing is now for what? And it's tough. It's tough because it's like, what do you do then? It's like, I did see something because we had talked about this in my old apartment, Markel. The trades are going crazy, right? Because now it's like our generation don't really want to do the dirty work of plumbing, HVAC, electrical, stuff like that, but those services are still needed. So like now you get into that. Like my boy he's like, yo, I just got promoted, and normally it's supposed to be a year and a half that it takes for you to get to this track to get that promotion. He's like, I've been in this job for 4 months, I already got promoted. He's like, bro, in a few more months, I could make 6 figures real quick, and he just got started this year.
Bro, I realized I've been trying to find some. Hey, if y'all see this, bro, and y'all some youngins, and y'all work hard, bro, y'all want to y'all looking for the supplies and the tools, somebody to invest into, y'all been
Come to Death Row.
But hit me up, bro, because I promise you, I've been looking for somebody that want to do HVAC or plumbing or electric. Like, and just needs the backing to do it, because I'm like, bro, everybody need that shit right now, bro. I don't want to do it. Like, I'm not too old to learn that shit, or
you're too good for it.
Yeah, too good for it. I know that shit not me. But like that, I'm willing to invest into it. I just don't know nobody that's willing to do it.
One thing to bring up is, I think that as Americans, we got too comfortable. Right. And what I mean by that is that we grew up in a society from the 40s, 50s-ish range, because after the war, World War II, things started to flourish. I think it was like 56.
I got a great saying. When he finished, I got a great saying that encompasses what you just said.
And we're so used to this lifestyle of just an abundance lifestyle that we take it for granted. And that's why you see foreigners coming over here, and they're hardworking people, right? Because they're like, yo, back from where I'm from, we don't get these handouts like the way that for opportunities. But we're now shifting into an area where other countries are finally starting to catch up. China's about to eat our lunch, right? Africa going crazy. Like not just one country, but a lot of countries within Africa are booming. And now we're at a point where we're like, well, I'm so used to opportunity just being here. Now that we're getting faced with adversity, we don't know what.
It's a cycle, bro. That's the saying I was about to say is, they say hard times make great men, great times make soft men, and that's what it is. America, we got comfortable, and China and Africa, they were struggling, they were starving.
Yeah.
And so they had to be innovative to catch up. And then we as Americans, we got, like you said, we got lazy. We had immigrants coming over here and doing like the hard jobs.
Yeah.
You know?
Why does it take for us though to
Psychology
have our backs? And that's a great answer.
Yeah, it is.
I can reply back. But I was gonna say, why does it take like
the whole time?
Hold on, cause I ain't gonna answer the question. Why does it take? Why does it take for us to have our backs against the wall for us to actually start taking action?
Because tough times create tough men. I think this is saying tough times create tough men create easy times create weak men create tough times, and you start that cycle back over again.
Yeah. I mean, I can't feel bad for America though either, because
the other saying is this,
because that's not even just American. Like that's just like, especially a black folks thing, bro. Like we gotta have our backs up against the wall, or hit our lowest point before we.
It's psychology.
When the fuck have we not had our back against the wall in this country though? That's my thing.
We ain't about to start using that 400 years behind excuse shit again, bro.
Hey man, this what we built this motherfucker for 400 years for free.
Yeah, but we also had a lot of opportunity in the past 100.
Yeah, bro. Like,
I kind of agree, but there's still statistics that prove that we are the last people to get hired for equal opportunity jobs. We're the last to get hired in those types.
I hear you, but at the same time, it's like we had this conversation before. It's like, you gotta like, all right, cool, shit's tough. Times are tough, but you know what's also tough is people in third world countries who really ain't got shit.
Yeah.
Like, do we still suffer from the effects of slavery and all this other stuff?
Yes.
Absolutely. But
that's what I said.
Can we use that as a crutch?
No, you can't. No, you shouldn't use it as a crutch.
So we can't keep bringing that up, bro.
I mean, but it's still factually.
No, we can acknowledge it.
It's still factually correct, though.
Yeah, you can acknowledge it, but at the same time, there are people who are just like, man, I just want to chill. My weekends, I just want to chill. That's what's creating the tough times, is that people are burnt out psychologically from their job, from trying to work so hard just to survive, that they don't want to take it to that next step and that next level before things get too late. And then when it gets too late, now you're forced to react, and you go back to your primal instincts of fight or flight. So you're either going to curl up and say, fuck it, I just want to check out, or you're going to come in and say, I have no other choice but to figure some shit out. And that pain of having to figure it out is now hopefully converted to motivation to have the desire to do something about the situation that you are in to get the results to get you out.
And that's what I was saying. Like, why does it
trademark
every time though?
Why is it every time? I don't think it's every time. I think it's the times that we notice that it's happening. Yeah, all right.
What, you just want to cuddle with somebody?
Yeah,
freak ass dog.
This is the sponsored dog. Hey. But anyways, I don't think it's every time. I think we just notice those times because you still have these small wins, right?
Yeah, and I think that's what they tell us we should focus on. But let me not say every time, but most times, bro, it takes for like
Because people like comfort.
Us to be in that dark place or that dark hole or back up against the wall. Like, bruh, prime example I feel like everybody can relate to. Once your girlfriend break up with you, now niggas back in the gym. Now niggas
Because the pain turns to motivation.
Now they want to really start on their business or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
what was the saying?
Some niggas need that hunger. They need that.
Yeah, because again,
You got comfortable with the girlfriend.
you're comfortable. That's it. If you're comfortable, like if I said like the idea of universal basic basic income came into play, right? When I was watching the Joe Rogan episode. If you knew that every month you would get $10,000,
Which is welfare.
right? Well, I wouldn't say welfare. I'm just saying
It is welfare.
Yeah. So if you
ain't
knew,
get $120K for welfare?
huh?
No,
I'm just saying.
It's basic. You just giving this without earning.
Yeah. If you knew that every month that you had a guaranteed $10K come to your bank account, would you work as hard?
No.
No. Why? Because you're comfortable with your current circumstance.
Yeah.
But if you knew that you had to work for every dollar that you got, it's going to create a different person with a different mindset, with a different level of accountability.
Time out now. Because I agree with everything you say, and I fell victim to that myself.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's
hard.
You got guaranteed money coming in? Hey, let me holler at you after this.
No, I was going to say when I was working for the government, that was
okay.
fake, like a guaranteed check.
Oh, okay.
In a sense, you know what I'm saying? Not no more, but
Right.
nah. So I guess if we only count it with guaranteed money, but let's keep it in our community, bro. We got a lot of motherfuckers getting guaranteed money, and cool with just working at, I don't want to call it a low level job, but staying at that same job and
yeah, because again, if you're the product of your environment and you don't make the choice to change your environment, that's all you know.
It sounds like something I said before.
Right. I say I agree with both sides. You can say, all right, cool. We've had this trouble past, and my present environment is also troubled.
Yeah.
I don't know where to turn. But again, we've had this conversation where it's like it's up to you to make that.
You do what you know until you learn better.
yeah. So I guess I'm also trying to get to the point. It's like at what point do you yourself breed constant uncomfortability so that you don't
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I think a person has to. There has to be something that gets that person. Like you're not born there. You're not born with hunger unless the
answer I know my mentor would have gave me is you gotta have a goal, and it gotta be a goal that is so great that you have like this emotional attachment to it that's gonna keep you working at it every day.
Right. The crop top?
Nah. I just ain't put my hoodie all the way down.
Oh, sorry.
But
That's throwing me off.
I just know,
Sassy
like,
ass.
but it's days that, bro, we get off our plan or, shit just do get hard. And it's like,
Pause.
Yeah, that was a pause. But it's like, bro, how do you...
Crop top talking about it get hard.
How do you stay in that pocket, or how do you get back into that uncomfortable pocket? You know what I'm saying? And then, like, it's not in the same sense where you're trying to survive or they're that paycheck to paycheck.
That just makes you're just asking, how do you build discipline?
Kind of what it sounds like. I mean, how do you build discipline? It's like you gotta like challenge yourself. Like some people don't feel that challenge. They're just like the saying is, you either glass half full, glass half empty. Glass half empty person think the world ends. The glass half full person think there's a challenge in front of them that it now needs to be conquered.
All right, so how would you get that challenge yourself?
I mean, again, that depends on.
But
how
I say
you were brought up.
different people have different motivations at different trigger points.
Yeah, because like there's like some of my boys, they're cool with making $100K, right?
They're comfortable.
They're comfortable. They're like, bro, I got my rent is paid. I got my clothes. I'm able to take vacations every now and then. and I drive the car that I'm interested in, that's cool. I don't need too much more other stuff than that.
Get the trick off on the females he want to trick off on.
Nah, he got himself a girl that's solid, and he's like, that's it. I'm cool, bro. Like, I don't need all this other extra pizzazz. But my other man's, our man's, nah, he needs the go yard bag. He needs the experience of the foreign car. I ain't gonna say exotic. I ain't gonna give him that satisfaction. He ain't got no exotics yet. Right?
The PJ,
right.
The trips overseas,
the lifestyle. Because again, there's certain people who are like, I don't want all that attention. I don't want all that pizzazz. And there's certain other people who are like, nah, that's what's driving me, the materialistic stuff of those things, or the ability to give back. Like, there's different motivations. Some people might want to make $1 million so they can go create. Like, there's a Asian kid that I think he's American Asian, something like that. But he was flying to all these different continents to raise money for his cousin who has cancer, right? But he's not going out here like, yo, I'm doing all this to get social media famous, to do all this other stuff. His motivation is to make $1 million to help somebody out. One person's motivation may be $1 million to help their parents out. Another person's motivation may be able to say
$1 million to help me out. $1 million to help myself out. My current situation.
So, and that's the thing, is like, in this world we're in now, it's like, we're talking about like, how do you try to innovate the next best idea? We're talking about how do you stay relevant? How do you not get behind on times? It's just the level of motivation that you have for yourself and your family and your surroundings. And then do you have the network to then challenge you, to support you, say, yo, you can do this kind of thing. You can go.
And I think that's the second part. Like, having a network to challenge you.
Yeah. Because there's
keep you responsible.
There's some girls that I'll be talking to, they're just like, yo, I don't have people that are good, like, spheres of influence around me, right? But I'm just like, well, you could do this, do that, and that.
It's a responsibility to create that.
It is, but at the same time, it's like, if all you know is just one thing, you don't know that thing, the other side of that is like, that is a possibility that somebody else can be there and be like, nah, I'll be supportive.
But that's an excuse. That's an excuse, because she do know, because she says all her people around her are bad influences.
It's not an excuse.
So she knows there's the opposite to that. To everything, there's always an opposite.
All right, so yeah, she knows there's an opposite, but what she doesn't know is where they are, who they are, and how to find them.
I disagree.
I can shut it down.
I disagree. You can go to the gym. You can go to where do successful people go. Like
yeah, what you could just Google that.
Yes.
Where do successful people go?
Yes. What's the nice what's the nice restaurants in the city?
But again,
what's the nice hotels in the city?
Back, it's the equivalent of saying, well, like the QuickBooks AI thing. It's like, well, the opposite of doing your own taxes is having AI do your taxes. But you don't know which AI to go to do your taxes. You don't know an accountant or a good CPA to go do this stuff. But it's the opposite of doing that. So it's your fault that you don't have a good CPA to help you do your taxes.
I get that. I get it.
So again, it's
all that though.
Huh?
He had to dab you up though.
It is an excuse, but it's also at the same time, it's a justifiable excuse. I'm gonna coin that one. It's a justifiable excuse because again, it's like,
it's gonna be all welfare motherfuckers buying that one. Justifiable excuse.
You can know all this stuff, but the idea, the steps involved to do all this stuff is the tough part. Mm-hmm. All right, how do I know who to trust? How do I know who's not just saying this, right? Because somebody with a hood background might be saying, "Yo, I've had people support me only for them to just plotting the entire time." Yeah. So now you got trust issues. Well, that's your fault. Well, bro, I didn't know that this person was going to do.
That's not just the hood. That's everywhere. There's snakes everywhere. But just to I'm about to say we at hour 15.
Oh shit! Well,
the first 10 minutes was just us bullshitting too. So
okay, so we about an hour 5.
Yeah. But I, mean, I think I am gonna put that first 10 minutes out, bro. That shit was hilarious.
No, I ain't say nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Y'all good. Y'all go ahead. I'm good.
Yeah, you good.
Hey, big head. What you doing?
But yeah, so you was making a point.
No, I was just saying it's like kind of going to like circling back to all the stuff we were talking about. It's like, how does somebody navigate today's society where AI is cutting jobs out? They're outsourcing jobs other places. You don't know where to turn. You don't have the support system around you. You don't have people that can kind of challenge you to see bigger, better. And you don't have somebody that can say, yo, look, it's not always a thing where it's like the bottom versus the complete top. Right? You ever seen like Shark Tales where they're just like at the ground bottom, gutter, trash everywhere kind of thing?
Shark Tales. What the fuck?
Yeah. Shark Tales, because the whole
With
purpose
my
of
ass Oscar.
Hell no.
Will Smith was the fish.
Damn, bro, that's how you know you showing your age, bro. So that motherfucker was classic for
The fuck?
90s
Nigga said
babies,
Shark
man.
Tales. What the fuck?
It was mid 2000s.
Yeah, that
Mid 2000s, I was a teenager,
yeah, that
cuz.
bitch went platinum too.
Yeah,
fool.
nah, but the
Classic,
main
nigga.
storyline was about how a random dude just like he wanted it so bad to be able to hit the top level of the penthouse because they were always just partying up there having a good time and stuff, and then he finally made it and he saw like the other side of that stuff, and that, oh man, I forgot, that was the whole point of me talking about the PJ. I was talking to my boy and I was just like, yo, what he did at 17 to be able to touch his first 100K at 14, touch his first M at 17, right? That is amazing, immensely amazing, right? Because some people will never hit that in their life. Most people will never hit that in life. 80% of the world will never hit that in their life, $1 million, right? But the thing I was talking to him about is when you hit that milestone or that level that early, life can, not saying it will, but it can become very dull after a few short years of that. Because imagine by the time you hit 25, you already drove all your favorite cars, you done went to all your favorite trips, you done did all the shopping and seen the things that you wanted to see, right? And we all know at 25, life is, like they say, by the time you hit 30, life starts at 30.
25.
So imagine you got another 5 years
They say that
before
for-
life technically
They say
starts
that
and
for
you already
men-
did
for-
everything.
For men.
Yeah, it's right. So imagine that you got another 5 years before life technically starts. What the hell do you, like, on both sides of the equation, it's like, well, struggling is hard as fuck, right? Because you're trying to get to that next level and get out of survivability. Shout out to Millionaire Master Plan. Great book, by the way.
I should just bought that book.
Nigga, you told me about that book.
I just bought it though.
This nigga was pressing me out for 2 months straight, bro. You need to read this book. No, actually, I'm sorry. Joe put me onto that book. I lied. My fault. But it's hard getting out of survivability mode, but then on the other side, it's hard trying to still enjoy life. Because look at Will Smith. Will Smith is having probably like a midlife crisis right now, dropping that bum ass lines.
Damn.
Song he
Damn.
I like pretty girls. Girl, that joint was trash.
Garbage.
That was pretty funny, right? But even Will Smith was talking about like, yo, like you reach a certain point in life where money doesn't mean much.
It doesn't make you happy anymore. You don't live life. You don't experience, like you say, you don't experience things you always wanted to experience already. So
Yeah, so it's like, what do you do then? So we got
Create
this,
new experiences.
huh?
Create new experiences.
Yeah, but it's like, again, if you did all the stuff that you wanted, now what?
Bro, there's always some new shit out there for you. to
I
experience.
think the things that makes you happy just change. They evolve.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's all that means. It's just he has to find things that make him happy. Like I always.
Nah, if you doing that, then he's fucked. Because that means you're looking for happiness in outside sources.
Well, he's fucked since he. Nah, I ain't gonna get into that. But how you want to
start wrapping this up?
How you want to wrap? How you want to wrap this up?
Yeah, wrap this shit up, brother.
Yeah, because his ass can start going down some dark rabbit holes. Hey man, I'm just saying.
Gooch
monster.
He been. Whoa! That was that. I'm definitely keeping. For context, I'm definitely keeping the first 10 minutes into that. You just said that. So now they gotta have context of what the fuck we talking about.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Why ain't not?
If you make it this far, if you make it this far in the video, and you watch the first 10 minutes, you understand that joke.
All I'm saying is
because he's one too.
Didn't I tell you? I said he going dark rabbit holes. Be hard. But anyways, I'm saying it's difficult on both sides for those who are super up and are trying to enjoy life, and those who are super down who are trying to figure out life and get to survivability mode or get out of survivability mode. It's just something that, you know, you just gotta find different surroundings, different environments, but also at the same time try to keep yourself up to date about like what's going on in the economy and the world, and share different ideas and experiences with different people to get different perspectives. Because that's the only way that you're going to be able to get to that next level is understanding. Because one thing may be challenging and super difficult for you, comes easy to somebody else.
Yeah,
and the difference between that is perspective.
Very true.
So, that being said, I highly challenge you to change your perspective, to see, you know, is there a different way of going about this kind of stuff that would allow you to see the next level, break through that next glass ceiling, stay ahead of the curve, but at the same time, be moldable, be adaptable to your environment, because we're in uncharted territory for everything going on right now. We're teetering on the brink of World War III. We're teetering on the collapse of the American economy. We're teetering on the rise of the new world power, superpower of potentially China, right? Everything is now subject.
It's not potentially. It's their superpower.
Anything is possible at this point. But if anything is possible. Sorry, no. Right. If anything is possible, it's like you gotta be the one to take your family to that next level. Map this stuff out. Leverage AI to the best of your ability to research and ask you. Like I said, ask AI, you know, ask me very tough questions that will help me understand myself and who I am, my blind spots, and then help me build out a roadmap to start overcoming some of those things. And then once you get to that point, now you start taking action, journaling, finding some way to keep accountability for what you got going on, and continuously improve, get 1% better each day. It's not going to happen every day, but there's going to be a time where you realize like, man, this shit was worth it because I stayed with it, stuck with it. And once you do that, that is now the way for you to turn other people's audience to other people's money. See you until next time.
Bet. Peace.
Love y'all. Not you.
Damn.